Well, hello and welcome to the Business of Cake Making podcast. And she's Bronya.
And she's Sammie.
And hello.
Hello. And how the devil are you?
I'm very, very, very tired. I've had a busy week. I've had my bank holiday.
Oh, God. Yeah, there was a bank holiday, wasn't it?
Yeah. I had work because I had a cake. And I'd stayed
I went to a street party on Monday.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah, except for it peed down.
Oh, did it? Oh, that's not so nice.
But there you go.
And we both had our environmental...
We've both had our health inspection.
Inspection.
Do we call them food safety inspections or health inspections?
I don't know. Food Standards Agency inspection.
I don't know. So, spooky, we had them on the same day.
Yeah, like how random.
Yeah, how random.
Yeah, is that?
So, but we're going to talk, that's what we're going to talk about today. But we do have a few little admin-y things to discuss first, don't we?
Shall I go first?
Yes, go first.
Okay, so mine's not cake related, but I saw it on a bus stop sign. And I thought, oh my goodness, what is that?
What were you doing at a bus stop? You've got a car.
No, I drove by it. I drove by it. And I wrote it on my hand so I wouldn't forget as I was driving along by the traffic lights. So it's a thing called Strut Safe. STRUT. Strut Safe. Right. So say you go out of a Friday. I'm so itchy. I'm sat here scratching. I think I've got a midgie bite. Anyway, so you're out on a Friday night. And
well, I'm not. You might be, but I wouldn't be.
It was me who stayed up all night Saturday. Anyway,
stop out.
So you're out, and so I live in the centre of Southampton, and I will go to the pub meet up with my friends, and then go home on my own, and I'll go the same way.
Because we're old, we think no one's going near us.
No. That's right.
Even, to be fair, even when we were young, it was like, come near me and I'll kill you. Yeah.
But, we're not invincible.
No.
So Strut Safe is a UK phone line that you can call. And if you're walking alone, there are volunteers to talk to you to help you feel safe or just keep you company as you're walking, which I thought was such a cool idea. Because if you're on the phone as well, people are less likely to want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like the strange people out there.
Yeah, they're less likely to go, all right, love.
Yeah. So it's only active on a Friday and Saturday night from 7 till 3 a.m. and then on Sunday from till 7 till 1. And they're all volunteers. And I had a look. There's a mixture of women and men, which I thought was really nice. The calls are mostly free, as they're included in phone packages with 3 minutes, or at the standard... I can't read what I've written there. At the standard rate for your mobile contract.
Right, okay.
I can't read what I've written. I've missed out a word. And the number is 0333 526. Did that make sense? Because I read it in a really weird way.
Say it again, just so we know.
0333 335 0026. And you can store it in your phone. Yeah. And then if you are...
That's quite nice, actually, because, it just makes you feel a bit safer knowing that you've got someone else listening out for you.
Yeah. And, that you can talk to them about... You can tell them where you are, or you can talk to them about the night you've had, but then you've got someone listening to you.
Do you know what? Can you imagine volunteering doing that? That'd be great.
I imagine you get...
juicy gossip you'd get.
Yeah.
I might volunteer to do it.
Yeah.
Hi, how's your night been, love? Yeah. Oh, you saw that, did you? Oh, great.
And it's UK. It's all of UK.
So it's UK-wide?
Mm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I just thought I saw that and I thought,
your public service announcement for the day.
Do. Okay.
Can you remember when we were kids and we used to get taken into assembly and watch a safety video?
Yeah.
And don't get a boat near a pylon and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That's what that reminded me of, but better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so what's your information?
Right, so firstly, we're struggling at the moment, aren't we? We've got so much on. We've got so much to do. Wedding season's coming up for you as well, as the fact that you've got a new venture as well.
Yes.
And I've got the baking club, which I was going to talk about a little bit more in a minute. So we are going to change the format of the podcast slightly, in that we're going to do every other week.
Yes.
So up till now, we've been doing every week and then having a couple of weeks off, and then every week and then having a couple of weeks off. We're going to go every other week, just to give us a bit of breathing space.
Yeah, and a bit of freedom, because I've been struggling.
Yeah, it is quite full on, and all of a sudden you suddenly go, oh, we've got to record a podcast. So, and then obviously all the implications afterwards, because it's got to be edited and all the rest of it. So we're going to do every other week, and that starts now.
Yay!
Every other week. We were going to do a Q&A this week, but because we've both had our EHO visits.
Yeah,
we're not going to do it.
Yeah, I think while the EHO visits fresh in our mind,
fresh in our heads, we're going to talk about that. So if you have got a question, you've got 2 weeks. You've got 2 weeks to get, well, probably a week and a half before we record again, to get a question to us. So please send us your questions, and we will do that Q&A that we have promised.
I'm just going to clean my camera because.
Oh, hello.
No, I'm still blurry.
Okay, all right. So that's the main thing. But also talking about, I'd just like to quickly talk about the baking club again, because I have a baking club. It's a little membership, just a mere £12 a month, and you get recipes, you get hints and tips, you get videos, you get a whole library of stuff. I will put a link in the show notes wherever you're listening. There'll be a link in the show notes if you want to go and have a look. If you want to go and have a look, you can get a free month, and that's the link I'll put in. I'll put the link in that it will send you an email which will give you a free code to get a free month.
Can I just speak to you about I've forgotten what it's called, I do apologise. Your brownies. Brookies, that's it.
Brookies, yes.
They look amazing. And I am going to bake those.
It's a cookie base with a brownie on top. Yeah. What is there not to like?
I know. I know. It's funny. Yesterday I made cookies. Today I made brownies. But I wanted to have them separate. But in my head, I'm like, I want to put them together.
But also that would be really good in your horse box, because that's the sort of thing that will keep for like 5 to 6 days.
That's right.
And also brownies mature a little bit before they start.
Oh, they're so much better.
Yeah, like the day or the day after that. So yeah, they would be good in your horse box when you come to be doing that. Mm-hmm. So you can sell cookies and brownies, or for the ones that can't decide, have a bit of both. Yeah.
What did you call them again? Brookies.
Brookies.
Like Brookside.
Brookies. Yeah. Right, so we're going to talk about our EHO's visits. So the last episode we did say that we would do the visits.
Yeah.
And you were waiting for a date, weren't you?
Yeah. And because she did contact me and say, can I come today? But unfortunately I'd have my ferret put down. So it was a bit sad. So she said, oh, don't worry, I won't come. I'll come another day. And then,
did you tell her that's why you couldn't do it?
I said I've had to have my pet put down.
Okay, right.
Okay. And then it just ran. She just messaged me literally the day before. Can I come tomorrow? And I was like, yes, perfect.
Excellent. Perfect. So I know I haven't been inspected the entire time I've lived here in Epsom. So that's 6 years. I was inspected in my home after we sold the shop. So I think it's a good 6.5, 7 years since I was inspected.
Same sort of scenario for me as well.
And then we were both inspected on the same day.
Yeah. What? And they're at different authorities.
Yeah.
So they didn't know.
No. And I said, so the lady that turned up to me, I said, because we were chatting, you get chatting, don't you? And I said, coincidentally, one of my best friends who used to be my head baker, she hasn't been inspected since pre-COVID. I said, she's got her inspection today. She was like, well, what are the chances?
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy.
Madness. So the lady that came to see me, I have met her before. So I have spoken to her before because my cake shed was reported to Environmental Health. Mm-hmm. And she was the one that phoned me to say, we've had a complaint about you. Tell me about your cake shed. What I didn't realise is that she'd been to it.
Oh, yeah.
So when I said to her the other day, I went,
she'd purchased something from it.
No. So after the complaint, they came and checked it out.
Oh.
And I said, oh, do you need to see inside the shed? She went, oh, no, I've seen it. I was like, oh, really? When? Because it was all locked. And she went, I went, when? And she went, well, when we got the complaint. She said, it was on the floor then, so you've put it on the wall now. But when we got the complaint, we came up and checked it out.
Wow, my God.
Yeah. So I spoke to her then. And then July last year, where I work at the coffee shop, she was one of the ladies that inspected me there.
Yeah.
So I have met her, and so I kind of knew her. And then as she turned up, she went, well, I've actually handed him a notice. I've got 2 months and I'm not going to be working here anymore. I was like, oh, great.
Well, that's a sad loss for the EHOs, because I know they're short on supply.
Well, she lives in Kent. So she lives in Ashford in Kent. So she's like a 2-hour drive here and back. So, God. So I understand, she's got a more local job. I get it. Yeah. I understand why she's done that. So, yeah. But I had mine booked way before I went on holiday. Because we both were trying to work out a date and we both were going on holiday. So mine was booked for about a month. So I knew she was coming.
Coincidentally, so I've been emailed already by Winchester County Council about my waffle box, and they've given me dates right up till July.
Wow. Isn't it funny? I think maybe that's because that's something that's going to go out on the road.
Maybe.
Because I know, obviously, where I work at the coffee shop, they come in literally 2 years to the day every time. And I know at the shop, they would come in. It was literally to the day, wasn't it? They came in. But I think because, I was chatting to this lady and she said, home bakers, you're so low risk.
Yeah. The most riskful thing my guy was saying was cream. And
because she said to me, do you use fresh cream? I said, only ganache, and I don't really ganache anymore.
Yeah.
And then she asked me about eggs, and she went, they're probably the two most dangerous things you've got.
Oh, they're so dangerous.
I know. It was interesting, though, because she was talking about the eggs, because there was an egg shortage a little while ago. Apparently they were importing eggs from Poland. And there was a spate, she said there were reports of salmonella in eggs, from imported eggs from Poland. She said, so we had to spot check eggs, but she said in our borough we didn't find any salmonella in any of the eggs. And that was I think eggs is the most dangerous thing I've got in my kitchen. Yeah. Apart from knives.
And I keep mine in the fridge now since having
in the fridge now.
Natalie Stanton on.
Yeah. That's about the only thing I keep in my fridge, because I don't use butter or margarine. Oh, no, I use butter for buttercream, but I don't really use margarine anymore. I use a lot of oil. But it's just filled with eggs now. Eggs and jam. Yeah. That's all I've got in my fridge. She opened the fridge door. She went, oh, you got a lot of jam. I went, yeah, that's where I store it. I don't have a lot of room in here. So how did you feel on the build-up? Were you organised? Did you frantically get your shit sorted?
Organised. I was organised, which for me is, I was a bit shocked about. And I think that threw me, because I have kept my folder up to date. Yeah. Because last year I went through and I did my allergy training, and I updated my food level 2.
Oh yeah.
Catering. Yeah. What's it called? Level 2.
Yeah, level 2 level 2 food safety or something in catering. Yeah.
And so I'd already done that last year.
Yeah.
I already had my insurance printed out. And because when I first started my business, I had printed everything out, I've kind of got every now and then I'll go through and update it.
Because it's actually, I didn't realise because I went through mine, because mine's on an iPad, so I've got, mine's on, like electronically, as on a PDF. And there's actually, because I thought, I've got to go through all this again. There's actually a little slip, I think about 3 pages in, where there's a date reviewed by. So you don't have to keep printing this off, and you don't have to go through it every time. You can just update it, which I think I knew, but I don't think I tweaked until I went, well, I quickly should go through this.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I had the same realisation as well. She pointed that out to me because, when my friend Sam worked for me, she gave me a opening and closing sheet that I would follow, and it's got about 12 ticks on it. And she looked at it and she went, yes, it's very nice. She said, but you don't have to do this. She said, you have your Food Standards Agency pack, and if you go in it, there's a form on there. You just write on there what your opening checks are and what your closing checks are, so that we know what you're doing. And then she said, you could just go into your, because I have a diary this year.
Yeah.
She said, you could just write it in your diary. Opening check, tick. Closing check, tick. Temperature, time.
Yeah.
And she said, and then you don't need all this. I mean, I had a massive folder of all this paperwork that because I used to do the Food Standards Agency sheet.
Oh, because they've got a diary and sheet in the pack, haven't they?
So I
you
used
don't
to print them out every day and do them. So she said, it'll save you so much time and effort.
Well, I don't even have mine printed. And actually, that was kind of a little problem. So I also did the same. So I did my level 2 in catering 23. My dad had on it 23. I'd never done the allergen training, so I did that. Oh my God, that's like pulling teeth, isn't it?
Yeah.
To get the certificate. So I mean, it's really quick to do. It's not difficult to do. And you can go back and retake it. But I was doing it and I'm like, why do I need to do module 3 about factories? And why do I need to do module 4 about Indian and Chinese food? I mean, but I did it. I got my certificate. And I reviewed all my Safer Food, Better Business pack. But I put my fridge temperatures in my Google Diary. So I've got a Google Calendar and I put fridge temperatures in there, and then I put on there days that I'm baking, which means I've done my opening checks and closing checks. If I do a deep clean, I write in there. If for some reason I'm not open, like if I'm on holiday, so everything's on my Google Calendar. And that's all on my phone, and you can go back and look at things on your phone really easy. But so I thought, I'll just show everything on my computer. And when you open your Google Calendar on the computer, it's all like muted out and you can hardly see it.
Oh.
And I was like, you can look at it on my phone if you want. And she was like, no, I can't, because it's all like, not great. Do you know what I mean? It's like really opaque.
Yeah.
And she said, no, I can see it. So then when it got to like the end, she said to me, could you just send me an email of what your opening and closing checks are?
Yeah.
Just so I know, because I couldn't really see them.
And I want to also talk about, so I was my product of the week last week on Patreon.
Yes.
If you listen to Patreon, I spoke about the app, the SFBB app. And I literally just the day before, I think, or the couple of days, had it on my phone. So I'm going to retract my product of the week.
Right.
Because unless you pay for it, $4.95 a month, it doesn't send you notifications.
Right, okay.
And I'm a bit ditzy. If I haven't got it in front of me, I'm not going to remember to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that later. I'll do that in a minute.
Yeah.
And it never gets done. And you can't backdate it, which is good, I suppose.
Oh. Yeah, I suppose.
So I was missing days and I felt immensely guilty. I thought, I'm going to fail because it's not that day. I worked that day and the date's on there. So I spoke to her about that and she went, you don't need an app. You don't just do it like that. And I said, well, I've been online and I've ordered these books because I went to my friend's cafe and they had these books on Amazon.
Oh, right.
Which are on my dining room table. I should have brought them in here so I could show you. And it's like a checklist. So it's got the things. Yeah. She said, you don't need to do that. As long as you've written on your Food Standards Agency checklist what you're going to do so we can see what you're going to do. And then you just write somewhere that you've done your opening and closing.
Opening, closing checks,
That's all we need.
Yeah. Because I didn't have that written down, and she did say to me, so what are your opening and closing checks? So I was like, well, all the usual things, making sure the bin's empty, wiping down, cleaning the sink, sweeping, mopping. She was like, right, yeah. I went checking for pests and all that. So I know it all. Yeah. And that's the thing. I think it's very difficult because I was talking to someone at work about this. When you work in an organisation and there's 3 or 4 people that use the kitchen or more, you need to have all that written down so everyone is double checking it. Whereas when it's just you in your kitchen on your own,
you're the only one who's accountable for it. So
and
you haven't done it.
I walk out my kitchen and I know it's clean, or I know it's not clean. Do you know what I mean? It's it.
Yeah.
But they obviously have to have traceability and know that you've done that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But go on.
Oh, you can carry. Are you going to still talk about the same thing? Because I'm moving on to the next thing.
Oh, move on to the next thing then. But that was the only thing that she picked up on. And actually, I think she was looking for things to pick me up on. That was my only advisory was, could I... Oh, no, there was one other thing that's an advisory. But could I just email her my opening and closing checks? Because she didn't have them. Yeah. So, go on then, move on.
So I have I have 3 fridge thermometers. Okay.
Oh, okay. Right.
That's because I used to, when I lived in the other place, I had another fridge.
Oh, yeah.
So I've accumulated. Do
they all say the same thing?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Oh, okay.
They all corroborate with each other.
Right.
And she said to me, they're not really that accurate. And I was like, well, they all say the same. She said, yeah. She said, what you're better doing is getting a food probe. I was like, oh, yeah, I could stick it in my butter. That's a good idea. And I immediately went on and ordered one on Amazon. I've got it now. I bought 2, one for me, one for the food van. And she went, right. Well, you don't need to stick it in food because then you're going to have to clean it each time. She said, keep a bottle of water in there.
Yes.
And stick it in the water and then you don't have to clean it every time. So I'm doing that now.
So this lady told us that exactly the same thing because they were worried at the church that we had lots of different fridge thermometers. And she said, do you probe? And I said, well, we don't. I said, because we don't really keep anything in there that I want to stick a probe in. And she went, well, just have a bottle of water in there. So we have in every single fridge at the church, we have a bottle of water now. It must be the new thing then.
Yeah, yeah. So, and in my head, the correct temperature for a fridge is between 0 and 4 degrees. But you have to think when you're opening and closing the fridge all the day, it goes up and down quite a lot. Yeah. She said 0 and 4 is the perfect, but it mustn't go above 9 degrees. That's you kind of.
Oh, see, I had 8 in my head. I thought 8 was that upper limit.
Oh, she said 9 to me.
Okay.
So it's kind of your buffer, I guess.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I like that word. It makes me feel all warm and smuggly. Buffer. It's because I'm tired. Or if I'm thinking about my duvet. Okay. So
the other thing, because my lady came in to my kitchen, and I said to her, I went, I don't have paperwork. As you can see, I'm very small. I don't have paperwork. I said, you're just going to have to look on the computer. And I went, you can sit down. And she went, do you know what? Just show me. Just tell me about it. So she didn't even sit and look at paperwork, my lady, which was really nice, actually.
Yeah, well, my lady did. She went through all my stuff.
Oh, did you?
With a fine toothpick.
Because you had paperwork. That's why.
Yeah. Well, no, she was very leading. She didn't say, "Have you got a food safety folder?" She was leading with her questions because I gave her my opening and closing check forms first and my temperature forms, and she kept asking, "Well, how do you do this? How do you do it?" And I went, "Well, here you go. Here's my folder."
It's like, so my lady, she opened my fridge and she went, butter. So what's that? There was like I had a piece of some cling film buttercream, and it had vanilla buttercream and the date that I made it. And she went, so how long do you know that you keep that in there?
It's like, well, it's not in there long enough to go.
Yeah, and I went, well, to be honest, I said it's gone by the next week. She said, yes, but how do you know? And I'm like, well, to be honest, I get through my butter really quickly, and I would go to the length of the sell by date of the butter, but my butter's never even gets close to the use by date. She's like, okay, that's fine, thank you very much. You feel really on the spot, don't you?
The oldest thing that I have to check is my Trex. And that's the but everything else just goes vroom.
Yeah, it goes. And I think that's the thing, is that our kitchens are so small.
Yeah,
it doesn't hang around for long enough.
It's funny actually, because I showed her every cupboard. This is my supply cupboard.
I did that. Opened all the cupboards. Yeah. This is my.
It had half a bag of flour, half a bag of caster sugar, because I haven't been shopping. A couple of bars of chocolate.
Because I'd been on holiday.
Yeah,
I had nothing in my fridge. I had very little anywhere. I said I've got no eggs.
Yeah,
because she asked me about eggs. I'm like, I've got none. I've got no eggs. When I'm going shopping later after you've been.
Yeah. She said, are you going to be doing a baking? I said, yes, once you've gone. I said, I'm going to have my lunch first, then I'm going to bake.
Did she ask about your hand washing situation?
Yes, she did. Yes. And I said to her, I use my sink if it's empty. If it's not, I have a little bowl, or I go in the bathroom. And I said, and if my son even heads towards it, I say, oi, use the bathroom.
Oh, how funny. So so my kitchen's in my garage, and my hand wash sink is technically the dog bath, right? So as you come through our garage, because when we were doing the garage up, I said, I need a hand wash sink, and she was like, well, you've got a whole dog bath here. But obviously every time you use the dog bath, it's big. You know, a dog bath is bigger than a normal bath, and I couldn't be bothered to keep washing the dog bath out. Well, yeah, I've got a Labrador. It fits the Labrador quite snugly.
Yeah.
So I have a washing up bowl in the dog bath.
Yeah.
And she was like, but do you have hot water? I went, oh yeah. I said, I said, dogs have hot water. I mean, the dog bath's only been used about 4 times.
Yeah.
So she was happy with that, but she did mention that it was the largest hand wash sink that she'd ever seen in her life.
Oh wow, I'm not surprised. I've seen it. It's enormous.
It's enormous. But yeah, so she kind of had a look around, and you can tell they're kind of looking and going, right, so where's the soap and towels? And...
Yeah, I went to my soap thing is empty. I haven't been shopping yet.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah. And I went, and my friend bought me a nail brush, but when we met up, we forgot to exchange. So I've just ordered 2 more. I'll show you on Amazon if you want. I'm not lying.
So funny. But the thing is that if they walk into an establishment, they don't get any of that. They just kind of, it's what they see all the time. So I know, like at the church, a lot of people, like we've got a counter at the back of the church, and a lot of people use that, like at the weekends, because we don't open at the weekends, so a lot of people use it, and people leave like sponges and scrubby things, and of course we don't use that because you're not meant to use that. You only use your disposable cloths. And I remember her looking at the church going, and that sponge over there, what's that then? And I'm like, it's nothing to do with us. It's nothing to, we don't use it. It's nothing to do with us.
It's like you're being interrogated, isn't it?
Yeah.
But in a nice way, because she was lovely.
They always are lovely.
Yeah.
They always are.
I said, I do a podcast, and she said, don't use my name.
Well, I did. I said to ours, I said, we will be because I've said that you had yours. I said, we will be podcasting about this afterwards. And she went, oh, I don't think I want to listen to it. I said, it's okay, you don't have to listen. It's fine.
Another thing she said to me, she said, I don't have to do it because I have a very old wooden, enormous table. And it's an uneven edge, and it's planks. Yeah. And she said, do you put your cakes directly on here? And I went, no. No, I'm not going to put them on there. I said, I sterilise the table, but I put them on acrylic plates. They don't come into contact with the table at all. I said, no. And she said, but I think maybe you should get one of those wipeable table covers for it.
Oh, okay.
So she said, then you really don't have to worry.
Yeah.
So
we had those at the shop on the big, because we had those big trestle tables, and we had Can you remember we had a blue one with white spots on?
Yeah, I remember.
We had a blue and white spotty one, yeah.
Yeah. So she recommended getting that for my dining room table.
Yeah.
See,
I've got all stainless steel here, and I think she was quite surprised because obviously, I mean, she actually kind of went, oh, because I opened the door, the dogs came running out to see her, and I went, oh, no, we're not going indoors, because she was just about to step indoors. I went, no, we're not going in there, we're going into the garage. And she was like, oh, this is fancy. But of course, I've got all stainless steel, and she just looked around, she went, oh, you've got all stainless steel. I said, well, this all came from my shop. I said, I just used anything that's from my shop. She went, oh, that's fine. Yes, wonderful, good, great. There was like nothing to look at.
Yeah. Which is good, isn't it?
Yeah, nothing to look at. And then I was like, and opened the cupboards, this is where my ingredients are, blah, blah, blah. I did think she was looking for things to find for me. And one of the things she did say to me is that because I'm not a cake maker in the normal sense, I don't have an order book. So I don't have a record of what I'm baking when. So I just bake things, put them in the shed, put them in the freezer. So she said, could I keep in my diary what I'm baking? So she said, just so there's that element of traceability if anything goes wrong. And she said, and I would normally say where, write what you've baked and where you got your ingredients from. She said, but you tend to go to the same shop for your ingredients, so you know where that ingredients is coming from. And that was just all she wanted for traceability that I wasn't doing.
Yeah.
But I guess because you've got an order book, that would already be there in a sense. You wouldn't have that.
Yeah. She did ask me about that as well. I can't remember what I said.
Well, because she did say to me, she said, I did go to one lady and she had, and I see this all the time online, people writing batch numbers of flour and sugar. And she said, I went to one lady and she had all these batch numbers written down. And I said to her, oh my gosh, you don't need to be doing that. And I said, well, I think some authorities do ask for it.
Yeah.
Which is just nuts. Mad. But my EHO said, just write down what I've baked and that would be enough.
I didn't even tidy my workstation. It was because it's higgledy-piggledy. And she was fine with that.
Yeah, because, I mean, they say at work, and like when we were at the shop, they just walk in off the street. They expect you to be mid-flow working.
That's right.
So as long as it's clean and safe, the fact that it's messy means nothing.
No, that's right. Which I did look at it and think, oh, shall I tidy that? And then I thought, no. They want to see it as it is.
As long as it's clean and as long as you're not putting anyone in danger by it, it's fine.
And I did find something out. It's kind of a new product. Well, it's not a new product, but it's something I had never heard of.
Okay.
So, the antibacterial spray, I shop at Tesco's, so I buy the Tesco's antibac. And it has the E1.
The EN.
I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's another number. Yeah. It's E. And it has to be on for 5 minutes for all of the antibacterial stuff to work. There's another product. So my sister's husband used to be a cleaner. He had a cleaning business or something years and years ago. And she gave me this product called Evans Esteem. EVANS EST little dash EEM. So she went, oh, that product's great. I went, oh, my sister gave it to me. And she's like, no, it's really good product. You only have to spray it for 25 and leave it for 25 seconds.
I had the same conversation with my lady because hold on, I'm going to get mine out. Hold on.
Okay. And you can get it from big cash and carries, places like that.
So she said, what do you use for your cleaning? And I said, well, that's the one I'm using, which is Clean Pro Plus, fast-acting, antibacterial, cleaner and disinfectant, H2FA. And I got that from Booker, right? And I think I got about 4. It was in COVID. So I'm like, we were spraying everything at the time.
Yeah.
And I got about 4 of them. And I'm on my last one, and it's only got a few dregs in the bottom. And I got that, and she went, perfect, that's great. And then I went, but I've also bought this one, which was from Lidl, which is the W5 antibacterial spray. So the first thing she looked at was the contact time, which is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So the one from Booker is a 30-second contact time.
Yeah.
was the one from Lidl is a 5-minute contact time, and she said the problem is that they prefer a shorter contact time because people will let 30 seconds go, whereas 5 minutes is actually quite a long time. So whilst that's absolutely brand spanking new, I'm going to go down to Booker and get some more of the Clean Pro Plus.
Same.
Because it's 30, and it actually says on there, kills 99.99% of bacteria in 30 seconds. So you spray it, you leave it for 30 seconds and you wipe it off.
And then you dry your surfaces.
Yes.
Very important.
Whereas the one from Lidl was 5 minutes, and she said most supermarket ones will be 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I spray, so when I get up in the morning, I always re-clean all my surfaces. I never start work with as is. I spray it. And then I go and make my coffee, and I'll have my coffee first and go off and do something before I wipe it. Because I use there's only one part of my kitchen I use for baking. Yeah. It's like a dedicated part, and the other side's for home life.
Yeah. Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, she was, so I think if our listeners are going and buying new products, look at the contact time.
Yeah.
Because 5 minutes is quite a long time to wait, actually. Especially when you're cleaning down at the end of the day.
And you're in a hurry. And you're in a rush. Oh my God, I've got to get fit. I've got a cake going out the door.
Yeah, and you've got 5 minutes to wait before you can wipe the bloody stuff off. So I think that's going to go back indoors. Because you never, indoors, or in your own kitchen, you never quite do the same thing, do you?
No.
So, I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
30 seconds. So I'm going to, and it gives me a chance to go down to Booker's. Always a good opportunity to go to Booker's, isn't it?
I know I've talked about this before, but there's a new one opening near me. You can sign up now. I passed it again today, but I've forgotten what it's called. It's got a funny name.
Oh, is it not a Macro then?
No, it's a company I've never heard of.
Oh.
No, it hasn't got an opening date, so it could be opening Christmas.
Yeah. I do like a wholesaler, but they're always really cold.
Yeah.
Go in the summer. Go to the wholesaler in the summer. It's always bloody freezing in wholesalers.
I have got to go to the wholesaler to stock up and stuff.
Yeah, you'll have packaging and stuff to be stocking up on now as well.
Yeah.
I think that was. I mean, I wasn't nervous when she was turning up, but she was kind of. Well, see, I kind of wasn't. And my appointment was at 3:30. She was meant to be turning up at 3:30, and then she was a bit late. It was only a couple of minutes, and I was like, oh God, I hope she turns up because I'm not going to go through all this again. And I was thinking, what have I gone through exactly? But you know what I mean? I think I was like, it was in my head that I needed to get it done. But she did turn up within 2 minutes, so it was fine, absolutely fine.
I did have my lunch for an hour afterwards. I just sat down to recover and watch EastEnders.
Excellent. And the other thing, so obviously you get your sticker. Have you got your sticker?
No, she's going to send it in the post.
Oh, okay. Well,
of course, because we both got 5s.
Of course. It goes without saying.
Yes.
What other numbers are there?
None.
So you get your sticker, but so she left mine with me. So I've got it in a little frame and I've put it in my shed because I was reported to the environmental health and put that in your freaking pipe and smoke it.
Yeah.
But something that I was looking for today was for something to go on my website. And did you know that the Food Standard Agency has the whole deck of 1 to 5 to download?
Yes.
To put on your website.
Yeah. Yes.
Because
you can go in, because there's an app. There's an actual app that you can download so you can look anybody up and see what their rating is. Yes. Well,
because I was looking for the sticker because I wanted to print a little one to put on my little A board.
Yeah.
I've
seen it on quite a few websites. Websites.
Yeah.
At the bottom, at the bottom, and you can see what their awards are.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can get. So if you go onto the Food Standards Agency, you can get whatever you get. Hopefully, you should be getting your 5. Can't imagine why anyone wouldn't be. And you can download it and put it on your website, or you can use it wherever you need to use it.
You know why they won't get a 5 if they didn't? Because they didn't listen to the podcast. They didn't listen to Natalie Stanton. They didn't download her checklist.
Exactly. She's got an actual thing, hasn't she, about preparing?
I downloaded it.
Did you?
Yeah, I printed it out and I stuck it in my folder. I talked about Natalie Stanton about 5 times.
Yeah, I think I did.
Natalie Stanton.
Yeah, well, my friend who is an EHO actually came to my shed and bought stuff.
Oh my goodness! I didn't know how you had to go through so much training. She was like, "Wow, you know quite a lot, don't you?" And then she kept asking me about temperatures, and I could rattle them all off. And what temperature should you wash your 90 degrees?
I've done the test and I will tell you.
Yes, I know.
I think though what we really, really do need to say though is that the EHOs aren't coming in to shut you down. No. They're not coming in to shut you down. They're coming in to help.
Yeah.
And I mean,
it was kind of like a brush up. It just made you think, oh, I could be doing this. Oh, I could be doing that. I could make my life easier and not have to fill out the blooming tick list.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you get recommendations. And I think things, we've all seen the TV programmes where they shut businesses down, but they shut businesses down that have cockroaches and rats running around.
Yeah.
If you don't have cockroaches and rats, you're going to be all right.
Yeah. And you do your paperwork, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, and so they're not coming in. They're not scary. They're not testing you.
You're not keeping your raw chicken on the top shelf, dripping down onto your cake underneath.
What's this little splodge on my cake? Oh, there's a bit of blood. Don't you worry about that.
Oh, it's only chicken. Oh, you'll be fine.
It's a bit of chicken goo. It's all right. So yeah, they are actually. I mean, I had a really lovely chat with her because she's just about to make a Spider-Man cake for her nephew. Aww. And she's got to make a Spider-Man upside down, and she was asking my advice on how to make Spider-Man upside down.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, so and we also had a really nice chat because apparently the Epsom EHOs have to do everything. They're not just food safety, they have to do it all. So they have to do funerals, internments, and what's the word for people that get dug up again? Exhumed.
Yes.
Exhumed. And I had a very nice chat with her because I don't know whether I've ever mentioned this on the podcast, but once upon a time our garden had a dead body in it. And I was said to her, I said, oh, well, we used to have a dead body in our garden. We didn't live here. They dug it up before we lived here. And she went, oh, yes. She said, I thought there was one up here somewhere. We've got that on our records. So we had a chat about the dead body in the garden as well. So, yeah, just they're humans. They just want to be, they just want to help you. They really want to help. Yeah, yeah. And I won't ask you what her name was.
I did mention it on the last podcast, but I'm not going to say it again. She might come down and take my 5 away.
So when will you be getting your sticker?
In the next week.
Okay, and where will you put your sticker?
I don't know actually, because I don't have customers here. I had a customer came in the other day and I was like, I'm not insured. But she was a little old lady, so I let her in. I might stick it on my laptop.
Yeah, but it's the other way round.
Oh, is it?
It's the wrong, so it's got to be through the window, so it's the wrong way round. Of course, you'll get one for your waffle van, and you can put it in your waffle van.
Yeah.
I think they should do little mini ones. They're quite big.
Yeah, or a badge.
Yeah.
I do love a sticker.
So I've put mine in a frame and I've put it in my shed. Otherwise, it would have just gone into a folder somewhere.
Yeah.
But I will be putting it all over social media. So the person that reported me.
Has my face frozen on your computer?
It has, in a really, really grumpy look.
Yes. It says we can't access your video.
Right, so we had to reload because Sammie disappeared and had a very entertaining look on her face, but we couldn't look at that forever.
Okay, so we're back.
But we're back. We're back to say goodbye, really.
Okie dokie.
We hope that this has put someone's mind at rest.
I hope so. Let us know.
Their visit.
Send us a message.
Yeah, if you've got your visit coming up, just let us know. Let us know how it goes.
We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, or you can email us.
Just let us know. You're going to get a 5. You're going to be all right because you're amazing. Yeah. And you're going to be fine.
You'll be fine.
You will be fine.
And it's not hours. It's less than an hour.
Yeah, she was gone in less than an hour.
In, out.
Yeah, and to be fair, that was mainly us chatting about dead bodies in gardens.
There you go.
So it's fine. It was fine. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was, but you will be fine. You will be fine. So have you got another? You must have another one coming up then for your waffle van soon.
Yeah.
Right.
But I haven't booked it in yet. I haven't done my emails this week. I've been so busy.
Oh, okay. I wonder how it will be different in a van than.
So I'm gonna find out.
Yeah.
I'll let you know how it goes.
That'd be interesting. I mean, you still have to. So you do have to have a separate Safer Food, Better Business pack and all the rest of it.
Yes.
Okay.
I have to do everything all over again, and Sid has to do her food safety level 2.
Yes.
So yeah, and I've bought 2 of those checklist books.
But there's 2 of you working in there as well, isn't there? So
yeah, but because I bought one for Daisy Cake Hampshire and one for the waffle business, but I'm going to only use one of them for the waffle business.
Yeah,
because there'll be other people there, and I'll need to know they're doing those checks. I bought a temperature probe as well. I've bought all the signs, allergies and stuff like that. Let me know. Hand wash signs, because it's slightly different. It's more.
Yeah, it's like me at work, because there's several people using it, and you'll have to have an allergen matrix as well, won't you?
Yeah. I've already got that. I use the one that I've got here.
So it's slightly different when you're working on your own to when you're working in a business with more people.
Yeah.
And it's slightly different, but it's the same theory. It's just that you've got to get everyone doing the same thing, and when it's just you doing it and you know you're doing it right, it can be quite tricky to kind of go, can you just do it my way, please?
Do it my way.
My way or the highway, mate.
You know where the door is.
Or the ramp, in your case.
Oh no, there's a teeny tiny door.
Oh, there's a teeny tiny door and a ramp.
Yeah.
I've actually seen pictures now. I've seen photos. It's very lovely. It's very lovely. Right, so we are going to go and head over to Patreon, where actually Sammie is going to talk about her waffle box, because she had a very exciting photo shoot this week.
I did. And we're going to talk about the product of the week.
Product of the week and our top tip.
Yeah.
And if not, we will see you in 2 weeks' time.
Yes.
When we are going to do the Q&A, so please get your questions over to us.
Yeah,
if you wanted to ask us questions about our EHO visits, if you've got yours coming up, then please do. But anything to do with baking, business, dead bodies in gardens, ask away.
Okay, and don't forget, breathe deeply, because it helps. It's my nugget of advice. I love breathing deeply. That's how I go to sleep. I breathe in for 11, out for 7. And sometimes I breathe in for 11 and hold, and I'm asleep by the 3rd one.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
it's like having an anaesthetic. Count down from 11, 10, 9.
Breathe in, take a deep breath, fill your lungs. It really helps get the oxygen flowing.
And listen to her. A bit of therapy while we're here as well. A bit of yoga and therapy. Lovely. Right,
okay,
we'll see you in a couple of weeks then.
All right, love you lots, and bye.